podcast doesn't exist. We got a lot of news for you. A lot of news, a lot of notes. We got a lot of people in the Boston area. They're seeing meteor showers, Mitchell. They're coming in. Boom, 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 boom. Home run, home run, home run, home run. Holy crap. You can't stop the mighty Red Sox. Last time we talked, you can fade this music down a little bit. I didn't have a whole ass intro. I just kind of wanted to talk about the Red Sox right now. Thank you, Jack. Give it up for Jack, everybody. That was the first time I got one of those right off the bat. So we're learning to love each other and the soundboard. But right now it's Sunday night where we're at, and the Red Sox are currently playing the Cardinals. Two red teams going at it, red on red crime, and the Red Sox are winning 18-3. And what a turn of events for the Boston Red Sox. Not so much the Boston Red Sox, but Rafael Devers. Why do I act like I don't know his name? It's Rafael Devers, guys. This guy was the worst player in baseball history 3 days ago. Couldn't hit a fucking ball, was fat, lazy, didn't want to play DH, didn't want to be third base, or want to be third base, worst third baseman ever, fat, lazy, injured, can't get a fucking hit. This guy, I mean, if you listen to the first 3 episodes, we spent a good amount of time talking about how bad he was. This guy striking out, 65% of the time through his first 4 games? Mitchell, what do you got on? You got the updated stats.
So,
because this is changing in real time. Every time this guy comes to the bat, he's hitting a fucking
You're always
home
asking
run
me,
now.
hey, could you look at the Devers stats? I update them. 10 minutes later, he comes up, gets another hit. Have to update him again. Right now, he's hitting.
No, I want to know his original stats. How fucking bad was he back then?
He was the only player with 15 strikeouts in his first 5 games. He was one of 17 batters with at least 15 plate appearances and 10 strikeouts. And all of these players, except for 2, were like even into the season as a league average hitter. And now Devers is already like pretty much his usual self.
I could have read that, actually. I fucked up. 15 strikeouts in his first 5 games. He was 0 for 20 what?
0 for 21, I think.
0 for 21 with 0 for 21 with 16 strikeouts. Since then, how many times has he struck out? Twice, but that's not a lot. He's hitting 417, 571 slugging, and now his WRC plus as of 9 o'clock is 121. What is it now? Mitchell checks the time. I don't know what time.
So that was an hour ago. And now his WRC plus is up to 134.
I mean, dude, what the fuck? This guy is one of the best hitters in the league right now, right? I mean, where does that rank in the charts? Like, in the league, if you put up 131.
I mean, it's nowhere close to his teammate, Wilyer Abreu.
Wilyer Abreu is the best hitter in baseball. That's true. No one really talks about Wilyer Abreu. I wonder why. Well, maybe because he's only really played half a season. Wasn't really that good of a, I mean, he actually had good stats his last season, but no one really talked about it. The Red Sox were mid, but this so far this year, they're calling it the week of Wilyer Abreu. Leads the league in OPS, 1,600. Leads the league in slugging, 1,000. Leads the league in on-base percentage, 645. Leads the league in average, 522. All right, and all those stats are wrong because I think he's, 7 for 9 in the last game? They scored 18 runs. I'm assuming Williard is.
So today, he was so bad that his batting average fell under 500. He only had 3 hits in 7 at-bats. So today he hit 429.
What do you mean today? In the second game of the doubleheader?
So today, his first game and his second game's stats combined, he's now no longer hitting 500.
He's hitting below 500?
Yeah.
Williard, you suck, bro. I did this out for the second game. He already has over 1 WAR in the first week and a half of the season. Has it been? It's been 2 weeks since the season started.
Some teams have played 13, 12 games.
Holy shit, dude. The Braves are fucked. Anyway, yeah, we're like 25% through the year already. All right, we're screwed. But Williard only has 1 WAR. What about old ass? He also hit a walk-off today, Williard Abreu. Also, Aroldis Chapman came in through 101 at 37 years old. That alleged abuser. He threw 101 miles per hour at 37 years old. That doesn't happen every day. He's striking out everyone. And the Red Sox actually look good now. Okay, Devers switched to torpedo bat. Didn't hit well with it. Switched back to the regular bat. Now he's hitting well. I think everyone in their lineup is hitting well right now. And they are in second place. Second place. They won 5 games in a row. Just swept the Cardinals. Sucks if you're the Cardinals.
You want to talk about the Cardinals?
I don't want to talk about the Cardinals. The Cardinals suck.
The Cardinals fans hate the Cardinals.
Yeah, well, don't they have the lowest attendance in their history right now?
Yeah, at a measly 22,000. I feel like if that was any other bad team, they would be like, wow, we're drawing 22,000 fans a game. And if it's the Cardinals, it's like, wow, this is a pandemic.
Well,
The fans have stopped coming.
the Cardinals fan base is known to just being jolly, and they love everyone on the Cardinals. They're very positive. They come out no matter what, if they're bad or good. But now they want to sell the team.
After like 2 bad seasons.
Yeah, after 2 bad seasons, they want to sell the team. And I guess half get it. But if you had a list of teams that you want to sell, I don't know if the Cardinals are up there.
If you have like a fan base of who has it worse, the Cardinals are like way down the list.
I mean, yeah, you look at the division. I'd rather be a Cardinals fan than a Reds fan or a Pirates fan. Like, they're only the third most kind of embarrassing franchise out of the three. I mean, even the Brewers kind of. I think you have a better case for the Brewers to sell the team than the Cardinals, because if they traded everybody. At least the Cardinals kind of tried with signing the big name Paul Goldschmidt, Arenado, and whatnot, but it hasn't worked out for them. They had that one guy. Who was the guy who had 3 home runs in one day?
Ivan Herrera.
Herrera.
The catcher who's replaced Contreras. They're the catcher that they signed to replace Bolino.
And that's a bright spot. Another bright spot is Lars Nootbaar for the Cardinals. That's a guy who I think everyone kind of forgot about last year. I kind of assumed he had a terrible season last year, but I think Lars actually did good. I think he's been injured for a lot of his career, but last year he had a 114 OPS plus, 1.7 WAR. I mean, it's not amazing, but he was hurt for half of it. Like, when he plays, he's good. So far this year, he's like leading baseball. I mean, sometimes everybody's leading every category. He's one of the few guys who's fucking amazing. He's slugging 655. Lars Nootbaar. Lars Nootbaar is one of those. I just love Lars Nootbaar because it's funny because it's like no matter what happens in his career, he can just move to Japan and be the most famous guy in Japan, and he can just make millions of dollars playing in Japan no matter what. Just because for 3 weeks he was on Team Japan, the most famous Japanese sports team probably in history, and they fucking love him there. And in America, no one knows the fuck Lars Nootbaar is, but if you go to Japan, he's probably one of the most famous athletes. Maybe. I'm a little ignorant to say that, but I know that he got mad sponsorships in Japan for his WBC prowess. But what can he do to save the Cardinals? Sounds like not much. They're struggling right now, at least to the Red Sox. I want to check in actually when the Cardinals are sitting 4-5 right now in that division, and that division as a whole. It's kind of like I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals seem like a team. They got 2 guys. They got Arenado and they got Ryan Helsley. 2 kind of big name guys who are about to end their contract, who they want to trade, but they try to trade Arenado. Arenado has a few years left on his contract. He's getting paid a lot. The Rockies are paying some of it, but they would like to trade him to get younger guys because it doesn't look like they're trying to compete this year. Helsley, one of the best closers in baseball for the past 5-6 years, however how long it be. 2 massive trade pieces. Now, my prediction is the Cardinals, they're in a weird spot where they might go 500 at the All-Star break, look terrible, but still be like 3 games out of the division because the division is that bad, and then have to make a decision. We're competing, but do we want to trade our best players? And if they trade their best players when they have a chance to win the division, all this sell the team shit that's going on and people not coming to the games, that's going to get 10 times worse. So that is what you have to look forward to, Cardinals fans. I know we're a long way from the trade deadline, but that's what I think is going to happen to the Cardinals. But speaking of the mid-ass Central teams, the other Central, which is actually way more embarrassing than NL Central, the AL Central has a lot of fucking average shit going on. The Tigers are leading that thing with a 5-4 record, all right? And I don't think it's going to be that bad the whole season, but it looks like a crapshoot already, which is what we expected. But the Guardians, we got Jose Ramirez hitting a 3-homer game. He's back, hitting them against the Angels. Have fun. Angels get shit on, who are actually doing amazing. Let's go back to another hot-ass hitter, Mike Trout, who Mitchell fucking sends something to me in the doc or whatever. Oh, we got to cover Mike Trout. He's hot. And then 2 minutes later, a day later, he goes, never mind, he's not hot. Bitch, he is fucking hot. Mike Trout is back. Don't tell me he's not back. He hit a home run in 3 straight games. And what, you're going to tell me his average is low? Tell me the background stats.
I'm just going to say that his BABIP is low. So, like, I looked at the stats, and I was like, man, this is not impressive. I don't know.
He's bringing up BABIP over here.
And
we're talking about Mike Trout.
His batting average on balls in play, which homers don't count for BABIP. And I didn't know if he was worth covering yet, or if we should save him for a couple weeks down the road when he's hitting like 500 over.
Well, we might not have a couple weeks because Mike Trout, knowing Mike Trout is going to lose it with a fucking neck injury or a back injury or a shoulder injury. He gets injured. But 3 home runs in 3 games. Also, I've been covering this. I've been following Mike Trout a lot because I did have a preseason futures wager on his over on home runs, which was set at like 22.5, which I thought was ridiculous. I know he's going to go. I think Mike Trout's going to hit 40 home runs this year is my prediction going into it. But it's kind of like, when you sent me those stats, right now, Mike Trout's hitting 172. So terrible batting average. He's not getting on base. He has a 278 on base percentage. He is not getting on base. And I repeat that, Mike Trout is not getting on base. However, 3 home runs in 3 games, this guy is slugging .517. He's hitting fucking nukes. And that's the new Mike Trout. Like, that's the whole thing. When Mike Trout this season came out and saying, and the Angels came out, he's not going to play center, guys. He goes to right field, and he's on camera, kind of emotional. Everyone was real sad. Dude, this is the new Mike Trout. Like I said it on the old podcast, Baseball is Dead. He's the new Mark Trumbo. Mark Trout is going into his Mark Trumbo era. Mitchell's laughing like that's a bad thing, but Mark Trumbo, look it up, had some good years for the Angels.
No, this reminds me of when Joey Votto decided, like, I should just start hitting bombs. Like, I'm going to change my batting stance, forget the walks, I'm just going to hit nukes.
Yes.
Man, those 3 years were glorious.
Was it 3 years?
I think he figured it out in 2020.
He had 1 or 2 really good years doing that. And then fell off, got old. But I think Mike Trout's not as old as Joey Votto when he made that change. But that is a great comparison. Like, Mike Trout's just going into his fucking big boy, bulk up, hitting fucking bombs. I'm playing right field. I'm DHing some games. I am not going to steal a single base. And I'm going to stay healthy, hit 40 home runs, hit 200, and just hit bombs. And he's doing that. So it's hot, and it's working for the Angels because I just love this right now. Angels, 6-3, dude. 6-3 for the gritty Angels. And I wish I could tell you how they're doing it, who's hot, who's not on the Angels. But I really don't know. I'm just high on the Angels. I know Mike Trout has done good the past few games with home runs. I know Logan O'Hoppe, that's a good one. Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is on pace for how many home runs, Mitchell?
108.
108 home runs from Aaron Judge, sorry. Aaron Judge has hit 6 already. You know, he leads the league with 6 home runs, no surprise. But you know who's second? Logan O'Hoppe. 5 bombs for Logan O'Hoppe. A catcher, dude. 5 bombs. Yeah, he is tied with a lot of guys, but Logan O'Hoppe has come out hot, bruh. Hot. I wish I could check on more of these Angels players, or we could spend a whole hour on these guys, but we'll have to save that for next episode. I also like their bullpen, too, with the Angels. All right, Kenley, which people forgot about. Kenley, who does not rely on velocity at all. I know he's getting old. He throws that 90-mile-per-hour cutter on some weird-ass throwing angle, which is impossible to hit. So I think he's going to be good this year. And Ben Joyce, who throws 117. I'm just saying. Ron Washington and the minor league Braves, we shit on them so much for taking on the Braves players. Look at them now. They're better than the Braves. Turn your fucking phone off. Whose phone was that?
That was your phone, Joey.
My bad. No, it wasn't, dude. They're turning on me already, dude. Podcast, they're already.
We're about to go on strike.
Wasn't me.
It had to be Mitchell. God damn it, Mitchell.
Everything of mine is muted.
Holy, there's a ghost in the studio. You heard that, right?
Is it your computer?
No, no one's texted me, man. Sorry, we'll move on. We'll go back to Aaron Judge, this motherfucker. So Aaron Judge has hit 6 home runs already. Aaron Judge, I think becomes he gets overshadowed by the Shohei hype. But bro, every year Aaron Judge is giving a run at this home run record, and right now he's like, it's early as shit, so you don't really know if he's gonna hit 70 home runs, but it looks like he could actually have a chance at going for Barry Bonds. Because I know last time it was Roger Maris, and I'll be honest, dude, that was kind of like, you got on board because everyone was on board Roger Maris, but in reality, it was like the 6th most home runs in a season.
The claim was like, oh, it's the American League record, but people just didn't want a steroid record.
Yeah, which I think is fair, dude. I know everyone has this history now. People are so hard on steroids. People our age are like, oh, everyone was doing it. Who cares? It's like, all right, but Barry Bonds, you weren't going to hit 73 home runs if you weren't on steroids. I know you're an amazing hitter, okay? But you weren't going to hit 73 fucking home runs in a season. And let's say if Aaron Judge isn't on steroids, I could say, I think it's fair to have two different records or not just poo-poo Aaron Judge's. How many did he hit? I don't even remember. 64? Did Aaron Judge end
I
up
thought he
with?
ended at 62.
60, whatever it was. But like to poo-poo that, like, well, Barry had 73. It's like, yeah, but Barry Bonds was like 38 years old and having 4 of the best seasons in baseball history. If he wasn't on the craziest steroids of all time, he wasn't going to hit 73 home runs, guys. All right? Let's just face the facts. Aaron Judge, I'm giving you your credit. I think he's going to... So most home runs through 1,000 games ever.
By a lot.
Including Barry Bonds, huh?
Including Barry Bonds.
Who was not on steroids his first 1,000 games. So that was an even matchup. Even matchup. Both natural. Sounds like Aaron Judge has got you beat.
Judge had everybody beat. Through the first 1,000 games, the next closest person from Aaron Judge is Ryan Howard at 42 fewer homers than Aaron Judge.
So let's just say Aaron Judge hits a fuck ton of home runs. I think we can...
Basically like a full season ahead of everyone else.
That covers that. Aaron Judge hits a fuck ton of home runs, and the Yankees, who everyone was kind of down on in the early in the season, they still hit a lot of fucking home runs. And now I found something interesting that is a new development and all this shit. Everyone's saying it was the torpedo bats that was doing it. There's fucking bone broth in the dugout now. There's a fucking I don't know what you call it, a thermostat in the Yankees dugout that just has a label on it, bone broth. And that's what they're drinking in the middle of the games, bone broth. So yeah, maybe it's the torpedo bats. Maybe it's the bone broth. While these fucking cowards at Philly are doing a little dimming their lights and having air conditioning, Yankees are drinking fucking bone broth and carving out bats that look like torpedoes hitting bombs. We don't need Garrett Cole. We're the New York fucking Yankees, bro. We're the fucking Yankees, bro. We don't fucking, they got rid of the beard policy. People thought that could throw them off. No, they got bone broth and they got torpedo bats. How about this, though? Luis Castillo, there's 2 of them now, and they're on the same fucking team. So everyone knows that Luis Castillo, the veteran pitcher for the Mariners, right? He's one of their best pitchers on one of the best starting staffs in the league, Luis Castillo. Guess what? They just got another Luis Castillo. Now there's 2 Luis Castillos on one team, and they pitched back-to-back days, all right? And you might be saying, wow, what are the odds that 2 people with the same name are on the same team? Well, it's very rare, okay? But it did happen in 2000 when Bobby J. Jones and Bobby M. Jones were teammates. You remember that one? Come on, Mitch. You remember 2000.
Oh, when that was 2.5. The good old Mets.
Was it the Mets?
Yeah, Bobby Jones and Bobby Jones, they were on the Mets together. There was actually one game where one of the Bobby Jones started it, went 8 innings. The other Bobby Jones came in, finished the game.
Dude. Bobby J to start it, Bobby M to close it. The Bobby Joneses, they fucking stop. They end what they start what they finish. They finish what they start. Honestly, I will say a little pushback. Bobby Jones, that shouldn't even really count. That's not that common. That's a very common name. But now that I think about it, so is Luis Castillo.
Luis Castillo, very rare name.
Very common name, Luis Castillo, especially in a sport with so much Latin.
The Mariners
people
pitcher
in it.
isn't even like the biggest Luis Castillo coming into like when he was in the majors. They had the infielder for the Marlins and the Mets.
Oh yeah, Luis Castillo. Is this one of those names where you put in Baseball Savant, Luis Castillo?
It's like Luis Garcia, and you got to figure out who's.
Oh my God! All right, I just put Luis Castillo in Baseball Savant. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 Luis Castillos in Baseball Savant. There's 15 Luis Castillos in Major League history, or since 20. I don't know what.
This would just be like, I think StatCast era, minor league and major league.
So since 2015, there's been 15 Luis Castillos in professional baseball. This might not be as crazy as we thought. Well, there's 2 of them on the same team right now. And to make this team go and great crazier, if you've been paying attention, there's also 2 Max Muncies in the league for the first time
A much
ever.
more common name.
Yeah,
Max Muncy.
Max Muncy is not a common name, but there's 2 of them in the league. For the first time in baseball history, there's 2 Max Muncies in the league. And this is from Jeremy Frank, who found out, which is, I guess I deleted the first part of this tweet, but he basically dwindled it down and pretty much came with the conclusion that there's only 2 Maxwell Muncies on planet Earth, and they're both in Major League Baseball, based on the 2010 census. I guess he dwindled it by. Do you have the tweet?
Yeah, it's up on the screen. It's per the 2010 census, 5,308 people in the U.S. had the last name Muncie. If you factor in that 50% of them are likely males, and that in the 1990s, 1 in 1,000 males were born with the name Maxwell, he concluded that it's pretty plausible that these are the only two around because these guys share the same birthday.
What?
They were both born on August 25th, like 9 years apart.
Okay, what? So Max Muncy and Max Muncy have the same birthday.
Yeah, and then they were, of course, drafted by the same team 9 years apart.
I just feel like if I look up Max Muncy on Facebook, I'll find like 7 profiles of people named Max Muncy. I have. So, Jeremy Frank, hate to put a damper on your day, but I'm calling a debunk on you.
He was so proud of his math, I bet.
Right? Yeah, like I'm looking at Max Muncy's profiles on Facebook. There's like a good amount of people claiming to be Max Muncy. Now he did say Maxwell Muncy. I know Mitch was gonna say you can make an account for Max Muncy. These look like regular people on mine.
I just looked at Max Muncy on mine. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the first 10 of these are clearly trying to impersonate.
Okay, well, Max Muncy, founder at Athlete After, Grove City College, lives in Grove City, Pennsylvania. This seems to be a Max Muncy, and I know his information. I got a picture of him and his girlfriend. And he's not in Major League Baseball. Here's him and his girlfriend at a dinner, him and his family at the beach, or his friends at the beach. This is Max Muncy, but it's not a Major League Baseball Max Muncy. So Max Muncy at Grove City College. He lives in Grove City, Pennsylvania, and he's from Knightstown, Indiana. So if anyone could find his address and get in contact with him, just doxing this guy on the pod. Yeah, I know there's a Max Muncy right here. Shout out to that Max Muncy, the third Max Muncy. But Jeremy Frank, to defend Jeremy Frank. Jeremy Frank's a great guy, works for the Cubs. He said Maxwell Muncy. So we don't know. Maxwell is a rare name than Max. I guess some people are Maximilian, Maximus, something, but Maxwell Muncy. There's only 2, and they play Major League fucking baseball. Give it up for that. And also give it up for Roki Sasaki, dude. Because a week ago, it looked like Roki Sasaki, they were giving him 5 big dooms. And now I'm going to give Roki Sasaki a big boom. One big boom for Roki Sasaki, all right? Because Roki Sasaki, if you don't know the background of Roki Sasaki, because this guy is kind of taken MLB by storm, I would say, and that everyone's kind of got their opinions on Roki and whatnot. He's captured the imaginations of baseball players everywhere, baseball fans ever. When he was 9 years old, his hometown was devastated by one of the most powerful, that's not true. He was 9. His hometown was devastated by the most powerful earthquake in Japan. Destroyed his home. He lost his father and his grandparents. But in America, people seem to really fucking hate this guy. Okay, Roki Sasaki. I guess it started. When do you think the hate for Roki Sasaki started?
The second he was like, I'm going to LA.
Yeah, once he went to the Dodgers, right? And a lot of people, when he picked the Dodgers, everyone was mad at Roki because the way he was worked out, he could not sign for free agent money and could go to any team. Every team could basically only offer him the same amount of money. So he was basically picking, everyone was even. What team do I want to go to? He could have gone to any team he wanted, and he chose the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's like Kevin Durant going to the Warriors after they just won the championship. So the Dodgers just added the biggest Japanese pitcher prospect in, history maybe, while having the best team in history maybe already. So people were fucking pissed at that. But it's not only people in America who hate the Dodgers who hate Roki Sasaki. Like people in Japan, a lot of them don't like Roki Sasaki either. As we covered it last a couple episodes ago, like it goes back to high school of him not pitching in the game going into the Koshin. His high school gets 250 hate letters calling Roki a bitch for not pitching in the finals. Goes back to that. But then when he leaves Japan There was more nonsense going on over there because a lot of people in Japan basically think that Roki's camp, he hired this marketing agency that works for him, basically threatened his team with lawsuits to let him go to America. So his team didn't have to let him go to the Dodgers. His team had him under contract. Allegedly, according to some people in Japan, Roki's camp basically threatened a lawsuit. That's why they let him go. They didn't let him go because they wanted to, as they were scared and whatnot. We got Haruki Tatsuro, who is a Japanese legend, called him a glass ace, said he should have stayed in Japan and built a body capable of playing in MLB before crossing the ocean. So a lot of people in Japan were pissed at him for going. Not only are you leaving Japan, where we watch baseball, you're not ready to go to Japan and whatnot. So he goes to the Dodgers. All right, this guy gives up a home run in batting practice in spring training. This video got over 1 million views. All right, people celebrating, just giving up a home run. First 2 outings were terrible. After the second one, you can see him looking emotional in the dugout. This video of him crying in the dugout got 3.8 million views on Twitter. Okay, the most liked reply, Pack Watch. Second most liked reply, fuck him. Another reply, fuck this pussy ass dork. I hope he blows his arm out every year. So that's the energy coming after Roki. All right, there's people are celebrating this guy being emotional in the dugout. They don't like Roki Sasaki. Jonathan Lucroy, former catcher in the big leagues, former Team USA catcher actually, said he's, quote, soft. The only thing that will help him is to fail. He will either peter out or transform into a hardened warrior. No one has time for a kid crying on national TV in one of the biggest sports market in the world. That's what Jonathan Lucroy said. All right, Josh Reddick agrees. And then you have, you even have people like Eric Hosmer making jokes about him being happy in the dugout, saying that, what did he say? Looks like a guy that's gonna go gets to go upstairs and put a cheesecake. Okay, looks like a guy that gets to go upstairs and put a cheesesteak order in 5 innings before his friends do. I'll be honest, this didn't even really seem like that much of a dig on him, or just kind of like a joke. But the way that was taken online was that Eric Hosmer, you're a piece of shit for talking shit about Roki Sasaki, or people being like, hell yeah, screw Roki Sasaki. So Roki Sasaki struggles in his first 2 outings. We covered it. The guy couldn't throw a strike, right? Looks emotionally beaten down. His velocity's down. And now he's going into a start against Philly. They have the craziest fans in baseball, by far, in my opinion. People say he's walking into a lion's den. People are actively rooting for this guy to get fucking shelled. And actually has a pretty good start. That's pretty good. I mean, like, I think he did. First, okay, so he averaged 97 miles per hour on his fastball, so that's good. He struck out 4 batters in 4 innings. That's good. He only gave up 1 run in 4 innings. That's good. Had a 50% whiff rate on his splitter. Okay, his splitter looked fucking nasty. They're calling it the freaking snake splitter or something, the dragon split or something. I don't know. Pitching Ninja's already got a name for it. It's fucking nasty. So he was looking pretty sick, and you could see the difference in appearance when he's on the bench after this outing opposed to his first one. So is Roki Sasaki back, Mitch, or what?
4 innings is the first thing I see. Are the Dodgers going like really easy? Did they not like work up his pitch count during spring training? He only threw 68 pitches against the Phillies, and I'm wondering, the walks were not great again. The strikeout, 4 strikeouts, 4 innings. That sounds really good. 50% chase or whiff rate. That sounds really good.
On his splitter, yeah.
Why aren't the Dodgers letting him pitch more?
Yeah, because they're worried about injury for sure. They're easing this guy in. I don't know how much he was pitching in spring training. They did not let him go. I remember there was questions with Dave Roberts. They were asking him whether or not he was going to start the season in the starting rotation. He didn't even actually give that answer in spring training. So they're definitely handling him with kid gloves. Like as we covered before, like this guy has a big injury history. He's lost about 5 miles per hour on his fastball. It's probably part of their plan because when Roki was a free agent, he went to every team, gave him a homework assignment. He basically pitched in this pitching lab in front of every team and basically told the team, tell me why I lost 5 miles per hour on my fastball.
But you can't say it's an elbow injury.
I'm not sure. Did he say that? I wasn't in the room.
I feel like that's he went and signed with the Dodgers. He's like, I liked their explanation,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure the Dodgers did not say your elbow's a little fucked up, man.
Yeah, well, they gave him whatever their explanation was. I guess this is part of the plan of easing him back into it. But I mean, it was a positive sign to see Roki Sasaki do well. I wouldn't say he did that well though. I mean, he gave up 1 run in 4 innings. What is that's like a And then also he left the game. He started the 5th and let 2 guys on, and they took him out. So they took him out with 2 guys on base with nobody out. Like if the guy who came in after him gives up a few hits, we're looking at 3 runs in 4 innings, and we're looking at more Jordan crying memes for Roki Sasaki. So I think it's still a pretty big question mark with him. And it gets to be an even bigger question mark now that Blake Snell is on the IL, because Blake Snell has gone down with shoulder inflammation for the Dodgers. And everyone's acting like, oh, boo-hoo, you lost Blake Snell, you're the Dodgers. Not going to make a fucking difference, whatever. And that's true. It's not going to make a difference. The Dodgers are still going to be impeccably good and win 120 games this season. However, if you look back on it, and I've said it 10 times on this podcast so far, the Dodgers have 9 starters. The Dodgers have 9 starters who go to an All-Star game. They have fucking 9 starters. They got everybody. Well, right now, if you go on baseball, on roster resource or Fangraphs, they actually have 4 starters now. Like this is the Dodgers injured list already in the season. 2 weeks into the season. Tony Gonsolin, hurt, back discomfort. Clayton Kershaw, hurt. Emmett Sheehan, hurt. Blake Snell, hurt. Gavin Stone, hurt. Brusdar Graterol, hurt. Michael Grove, hurt. Michael Kopech, where's he been? He's been hurt. Evan Phillips, hurt. Okay, not to mention Freddie Freeman, who's hurt. And then Mookie Betts, I would count him as a half hurt, but he's...
Did you get Kyle hurt?
Kyle Hurt is hurt. That's funny. I skipped Kyle Hurt because I was like, who the fuck is Kyle Hurt? Now we know. Kyle Hurt's hurt. Damn it, dude. Kyle Hurt. We were excited for him, man, and he's hurt, dude. So I guess they'll call up Bobby Miller. So, I mean, if you're calling up Bobby Miller, you're feeling pretty good for most teams to have your 10th starter coming up. But damn, these guys are hurt. What's going on with the Dodgers, man? It's a question mark, too, because now it's like we were thinking with Shohei, when Shohei's going to get back. And Shohei just threw his first bullpen, right? I think last week?
Yeah, sometime this week, it was like a 25, 26 pitch bullpen.
Yeah, they're taking.
And they said it was promising. But, I mean, a 26 pitch bullpen is very far away from rehabbing.
Yeah. My thing with Ohtani, at least going into the season, was like he ain't going to pitch to the All-Star break. There's no way he pitches to the All-Star break, because there's no reason for him to pitch in the All-Star break, because they don't need any pitchers, and they want to be careful with him, and they know they're going to make $1 trillion fucking dollars if he pitches in the playoffs. Everybody wants this guy to pitch in the playoffs. There's no reason for him to pitch in the regular season other than his own individual accolades, which obviously Ohtani really cares about. But the Dodgers, who are trying to win and like look for his long-term health, I wouldn't be surprised if Ohtani, I don't think the plan for Ohtani, if I had to guess behind the scene, is to pitch until after the All-Star break. You get him ramped up. He gets whatever it is, 60 innings. He's in full swing going into the playoffs with no injuries. Doesn't have to miss a start, no blisters, none of that small shit. Like, that's the plan. However, now they got 4 starters. I wonder if that shifts. And I wonder if they're thinking with Roki Sasaki could shift too, because like we said last episode, basically Roki Sasaki's with his injuries, like he could get Tommy John tomorrow. That could be a solution to his velocity drop. So if Roki Sasaki sucks after a month, the Dodgers, I think, realistically, are just going to tell him to get Tommy John and come back in a year. But if you only have 3 starters, like let's say Glasnow goes down. And Glasnow goes down every season, Mitchell. Now you're rocking Roki Sasaki, Yamamoto, Dustin May. Those are your 3 starters. And those are great 3 starters compared to a lot of league, but that's only 3 starters. I'm just pointing that out to point out the Dodgers have a little bit of a chink in their armor right there when it comes to injuries, but everybody knows that.
I think we also said, like, oh, the Dodgers have 9 starters, but even to start the season, a lot of these guys, like Clayton Kershaw, we were not expecting back for at least 2 months. And we knew that coming in.
Yeah. I mean, and then, Clayton Kershaw's coming back. He's going to be the 3rd starter already. We're already 2 weeks in the season, man. It's like, how does this happen with the Dodgers every year, bro?
That's why they have 9 starters.
Yeah. I guess that's also part of the strategy. I think but the Dodgers don't care about spending. But I know that's the thing with the Rays, and Andrew Friedman comes with the Rays, and a Moneyball thing to do is sign a bunch of pitchers who have injury history that people are scared of, who have nasty shit. You sign them for cheap because people are scared of them. You get them and they're amazing, but then they get hurt again. I'm not sure that that's really the Dodgers' strategy, but that seems to be happening. That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, what other team though has 9 starters? Like they come in, they knew like there's a good chance that like 50% of these pitchers are gonna get hurt, and they're gonna be out for a long time. So we may as well just build in a bunch of redundancy, so we have more potentially injured pitchers available when the next ones get injured.
Yeah, they had a great series this weekend with the Phillies, and the Phillies took 2 out of 3 with them, but it just kind of showed, these could be the 2 best teams in baseball when it's all said and done. Like watching this game today, like Christopher Sanchez comes out, strikes out Shohei. Mookie Betts comes out, strikes out Mookie Betts to start the game, and I'm thinking, damn, Christopher Sanchez, who is like their 4th starter, is like legitimately one of the best pitchers in baseball. And I heard people give him Cy Young votes early in the season. They're projecting this guy to be amazing. And then guess what? Gives up a single to Tommy Edman, and then fucking Teoscar hits an opposite field bomb. And in a second, it's 2-0. It's like, holy shit. Like, they're that deep. The wind was blowing in, and Teoscar just pokes one to right field. And he hit another one in the opposite field later in the game. And then the Dodgers. Oh, the Phillies fucking Glasnow fucking shit the bed, walked 3 guys in a row, gave up an RBI, then walked another guy, gave up a grand slam, and it was like the Phillies won this shit, and then slowly but surely Dodgers come back, and it's a fucking dogfight. You got anything on the series at all?
I didn't watch it.
Yeah, okay.
I decided to dedicate my time to an important Saturday game between the Marlins and the Braves.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Just terrible mistake.
Yeah, that is a terrible mistake. But we had to do good news with the Braves. Jessie Chavez is back in fucking action. Shout out to the Atlanta Braves for doing the impossible. The Atlanta Braves just got Jessie Chavez for the 2nd time this week. They signed him 7 times in the past 4 years, and they just signed him for the 8th time in his career. Jessie Chavez is back on your Atlanta Braves, who won their first game of the season against the Marlins. Dicked them. Take that, Jack. 10-0 in your mother's mouth. You got anything to say about that, you Marlins fan?
No.
Okay, yeah. Fake ass Marlins fan, dude. Name 3 players. You can't name 3 players. That's unfair. No one can name 3
It takes time to be quiet. Nobody can name 3 Marlins. That's the thing. That's the reason I follow them.
Sandy Alcantara, bro. There's your favorite player. So the Braves come back. They win 10-0. Then they lose the next day. And oh my God, we put up 0 against the fucking Marlins. I don't even remember who started for the Marlins, but it wasn't Alcantara. So Cal Quantrill
came into the game with like a 12 ERA.
Just shut us down, dude. Cal Quantrill. We had like 7 hits and didn't score a run. So that was good. So we're back to being terrible. I thought we were back. I didn't hear that. That was good. Luckily, the game got canceled today, so we didn't have to see the Sunday Braves loss. But yeah, bro. Braves, as bad as it has been for the Braves, guess what, boys? It gets better. Guess we're playing on Tuesday? The Philadelphia Phillies. MLB, you can suck my dick, dude, because you fucking set us up. You set us up. You made us play the 3 best teams in the world in the first 4 series, and now everyone's coming at our throat, and you made our player test positive for steroids, even though we didn't benefit from it. He took steroids on the fucking Padres and got caught on the Braves, and we paid him $45 million to do steroids for the Padres.
I think as the Padres should have a player suspended for 50 games.
For real. Like, the Padres should have to pay some money, dude. They reaped all the benefit. We got screwed. Speaking of the Padres, they just got swept by the Cubs. Kyle Tucker is hot. Kyle Tucker, I think, has 5 home runs, too, in 2nd place. So, shout out to Kyle Tucker. That sucks for the Astros. If you're an Astros fan, you are not happy right now. But the Padres get swept, and the Padres were undefeated. They lose 1 game, and they're in 2nd place. Now, they got swept. The Padres, who were 7-0 going into the series, are now in 3rd place in the AL West, which is turning out to be the best division in baseball by
I think you got ahead of yourself.
Why?
The Padres won today.
The Padres won today?
8-7.
Holy shit. I apologize to Padres fans, but they're still in third place, I think, right?
Yeah.
See,
third place, 2 losses, third place. It's rough out there.
Yeah. That's what's going down in the AL West. And that's actually funny now. Now you look at it. We just sucked the Dodgers. The Dodgers aren't even in first place right now.
No.
Is there trouble brewing in Los Angeles? Because you just lose a couple of your starters. You got a guy crying, and now you're not even in first place. The San Francisco Giants. Boom. It's feeling like 2021, Mitch. The San Francisco Giants coming out of nowhere to 8-1 start, getting zero attention whatsoever, I might add. Like, have you heard anything about the Giants?
Only this rabbit.
Only about this rabbit that's been... I barely even heard about the rabbit. That came across my timeline today. I saw, and we'll get to the rabbit. I saw Verlander have a bad first start. So I think that came across my page, and I thought, damn, if Verlander's bad, that's going to be tough for the Giants, man. Because, like, the Giants, they got Logan Webb. We know Logan Webb's a great pitcher, all right? They got Robbie Ray, who used to lead the world in strikeout per 9, but Robbie Ray is coming off Tommy John. We don't know what we're going to get out of him. And then we got Justin Verlander, how old is Justin Verlander now?
He's 42.
So 42 years old, bro. Damn. He struggled in his first start, but it didn't fucking matter. The Giants won. And there's a rabbit on the field. There's a 28-pound therapy rabbit called Alex the Great. Okay? According to this, he's a, quote, Bay Area staple. He was at the Mariners-Giants game on Saturday night. Did they win that game?
Oh, absolutely.
They never lose when the therapy rabbit is at the game, all right?
He's so thick, dude.
It is the thickest rabbit you've ever seen.
And I think I've got to call out some reporting errors because everyone's saying a 28-pound rabbit. That was what he was 3 years ago. I found an article from last year. It says he's 30 pounds now. He's just getting bigger.
This is a 30-pound rabbit. This is the Daniel Vogelbach of rabbits, bro. This thing is walking around Oracle Park, they're calling it now. It has 47,000 followers on Instagram. He was the rally rabbit of the Giants. What does that even mean? How do you become the rally rabbit of the Giants?
He showed up in 2021 on April 22nd. Everybody saw him, and then the Giants won 107 games, and he kept showing up to the ballpark, so they named him the Rally Rabbit.
Well, did he come in 2022 and 2023 and 2024?
My guess is he just didn't show up.
Did he not? Because they sucked pretty bad the last 3 years. Hopefully we're gonna call him we're gonna have to get rid of the rabbit if they start losing. So Alex the Great, the rabbit. They got a fucking rabbit in the stands. I'm telling you, be careful for the Giants because not only do they have a ragtag bunch. What is that? What am I saying, dude? A ragtag bunch. So the rabbit's riding around in a Mercedes-Benz with cats, just hyping up the boys. And he's a therapy rabbit, and he's supposed to make you not anxious. You know, he's just a big fat rabbit that they take to public places. And if you're getting scared, you pet the rabbit, and then the rabbit calms you down. He's been training to be a therapy rabbit his whole life. Apparently, they've been taking him to events like this since he was just a small rabbit. But now he's a fucking fat rabbit running around in Jeeps. And it seems to really help the Giants. Because the Giants coming in the season had a 29% chance to make the playoffs. And now a week and a half later, they have a 50% chance to make the playoffs. So correct me if I'm wrong, that is a 21% increase in playoff odds in only 12 games for the Giants. And it's a team that no one is really talking about. They won 7 in a row. They're 8-8. Wilmer Flores just walked him off. And William Flores, this is a crazy stat. Wilmer Flores has 13 career walk-offs, which is tied with first. Since 2014, Bryce Harper has the most walk-offs in baseball. That makes sense. It's Bryce Harper. Who's second? Wilmer fucking Flores, who gets no attention, who's had multiple great seasons for the Giants. And they beat the Reds 2-1. They swept the Astros, and the Mariners. They beat the Reds, the Astros, and the Mariners. Is it the toughest competition?
Sort of.
I mean, it's not the worst competition.
I mean, after watching the Reds' offense for the last week, maybe we gave the Reds too much credit coming into the season. But the Mariners and the Astros, they're supposed to compete for the AL West.
Competitive teams. I wouldn't call it fraudulent, but I would say it's not. I mean, I'm comparing.
I mean, it's not like they played like the Marlins and the White Sox and the Braves.
Yeah, but if you look at their lineup, they're crushing it. Willie Adames, I think, is actually the only guy not crushing it. But Jun-Hoo Lee, who came in last year, everyone had high hopes for out of Korea and struggled and got hurt, is crushing it at the plate. Matt Chapman, they signed him to the big extension. Or was it an extension? Whatever, they just signed him to a big deal. He's crushing it. Helio Ramos was a guy who crushed it last season and no one talked about.
I think he only got on the radar once he hit a McCovey Cove splash hit and became the first righty to. Before that, no one was talking about him.
Yeah. So, I mean, Helio Ramos kills it. Wilmer Flores killing it. The team's hitting fucking amazing. Any stats for the Giants and their amazing start to the season?
I mean, you got the Jordan Hicks stats. He's upped his velocity like 4 miles an hour. He tried to dip it down, said that didn't work. Now he's pitching hard again, and one really good start.
But I do also want to call them a little fraudulent because they had to face the Reds, and the Reds might be the worst team in baseball history.
I'm as a Braves fan watching the Braves going, who has it worse than us? And then I see the Reds and I go, they have it worse than us.
Yep, they got so even Nestor Cortez, who I guess now is the worst pitcher in the world because he has one bad start against the Yankees, but he one-hit them in 6 innings. The Reds lost 2 to the Rangers, got shut out by Eovaldi. They lost 3 straight games without scoring a run. All right, they lost all 3 games by 1 run. First time in MLB history. They lost 3 games in a row by 1-0. Who were the starters in that game? Because if you're a Red starter in that game, you got to want to fucking jump off a bridge. Because, I mean, if you give up 3 runs in 3 games, your pitching staff is probably the best in the league, and then you go 0-3. I mean, if you're Terry Francona, there's not enough bubble gum you can chew. He's going to have to get another emergency surgery. His pitching staff is shutting them out. I bet they have the number 1 pitching staff in the league right now. They're 0-3. Okay? Even the torpedo bat with Ellie De La Cruz, 0-3. The Reds were.
These starters too, they had probably one of the best games they'll have all season. Hunter Green's a really good pitcher. He was one of the best pitchers in baseball last year. He started the middle game against your boy Jack Leiter. But then the first game against Eovaldi was started by Carson Spears. I'm sorry, Carson, I've never heard of you. And then the third game was started by Nick Lodolo, who is, I think, decent. But
Nick Lodolo, yeah.
These are guys that shouldn't be giving you 1-run outings over 6+ innings.
Yeah, and these games were all against the Rangers, or was there one game against
the last one was against Nasty Nestor and the Brewers.
Yeah, so they went 35 innings without scoring a run. It's the team's longest scoreless streak since 1946, dude. Damn, what happened in 1946? 37 innings without scoring a run. That's
World War II.
Yeah, that was World War II year. I think there wasn't that after it.
2 years into when we joined, right?
46 was 2 years after, or a year after the war. All of these players were slowly coming back.
So this was with World War II players too. Wow. Sad if you're a Reds fan. I know. Is it time to sell the team?
Where would you rank them in the who has it worse NL Central?
I would rank the Pirates having it worse than them. I would say the Pirates have it worse than basically anyone in the league other than I don't know. Would you put the Rockies ahead of the Pirates? I would probably put the Rockies ahead of the Pirates.
Which owner do you think is more responsive? You have Bob Nutting getting booed in the concourse, but Dick Monfort will reply to your emails.
Then obviously, Dick Monfort is more responsive. He replies.
But
to your
then
emails.
does he which one is gonna listen more?
obviously, I would say Dick Momford. He's replying to fucking people's. There's no better listener in the world. This guy's replying to every fucking email. As a billionaire. God,
Have we reached out yet?
I hope the fans should be reaching out. Do we have his email?
It's on Reddit, I think.
It's literally just like his name at Rockies.com.
Reach out to Dick Momford at Rockies.com. Reach out to Bob Nutting at Pirates.com too. This owner for the Pirates. But I would say the Pirates have it worse than the Reds. And the Cardinals have it better than the Pirates and the Reds. But the Reds are a close second in the Central. But I would say, yeah, no one has it worse than the Pirates. Other than the Athletics, I would even say the Rockies have it better than the Pirates. Because right now, I mean, the Pirates have had a little bit of a bump with the Paul Skenes effect. You know, having Paul Skenes in there and people were excited. You know, McCutchen came back. That was exciting. But, I mean, does anyone really think they were going to compete this year? Like, we kind of wanted them to because they have Paul Skenes. But, like, other than Paul Skenes, okay, Jared Jones, they have a good starting staff, a young starting staff. But isn't Jared Jones hurt?
Yeah. So with Jared Jones, I think you could gaslight yourself into believing they were going to be good enough to compete. But with him out, and it's really just Skenes, and you have to hope that O'Neal Cruz and Andrew McCutchen can carry the offense.
Yeah.
And Brian Reynolds.
Mitch Keller had a good season a few years ago, so that maybe you could convince yourself with that. Bailey Falter, wasn't he a top prospect at one point at least?
I just know he was bad for the Phillies.
Yeah, maybe I
went to the Pirates and was actually decent.
Yeah, I think I'm confusing him with somebody else. But yeah, O'Neal Cruz was exciting, but he's been hurt. Ke'Bryan Hayes signed the extension with them, had a good 2020, but has not been good since then. Adam Frazier signed that deal with them. But Adam Frazier, I mean, Adam Frazier could be the best player in the league. You wouldn't say he's exciting.
I mean, even with what he is now, the Pirates brought him back like, oh, he's back, the 2021 All-Star. And if you look at his stats over the last like 3 seasons, he's been one of the worst hitters in baseball.
Yeah, so it's not good for the Pirates. You have Paul Skenes, who's kind of stuck there. I mean, what was the quote coming out of Paul Skenes this offseason? Something about like, we need to compete, that people kind of said was a shot at ownership. I'm not sure if it really was or people kind of just framed it that way, but you had Paul Skenes, and now they're 3-7 in last place. They had David Bednar, who was their all-star closer a few years ago, like their best player probably as a closer. He's got sent to the minors or DFA'd, or what happened to him? Can they send him to the minors?
Sent to the minors.
Sent to the minors. So this is an all-star closer, dude. Now he's in the fucking minors. And he's on the Pirates, too, so it's not like, you know, if you're getting sent to the minors and the Pirates, it's not looking good. They got the 5th worst offense in baseball, and now, but it gets worse. Bob Nutting, their owner, who's under a lot of fire right now. Since he's owned the team, they've had 4 seasons. But when did Bob Nutting buy the team?
I think it said he took over in 2007.
Okay, so they've had 4 winning seasons since 2007, finished last or next to last the past 8 years. Every season, they've been last or second to last 8 years in a row. Nobody has it worse than the Pirates, bro. They're already selling the team chance in the stadium. And now today, there's another fucking drama out of Pittsburgh. They took away they had this Roberto Clemente sign in right field on the right field wall. It was a number 21 on the right field wall. And that disappeared. People noticed, like, what happened to this? They replaced it with a seltzer advertisement.
Yeah, they replaced it with an alcoholic beverage ad. And they responded at first yesterday after people started noticing that it was gone. And they said, hey, it was a temporary thing. It was never going to be there forever. And then the very next day, they were like, yeah, it's coming back up.
Yeah, so the people noticed that they're now, instead of Roberto Clemente, Latin legend, Pirates legend, they're selling seltzers out there, which I would say is a bad look. But they're putting it back up. I would honestly, I'm kind of on the Pirates side in this. I think there's probably, they said sorry. They got really, I didn't think they think anyone was going to notice that they're going to take Roberto Clemente off the wall and replace it with the seltzer. But it is kind of true. I bet they have like 30,000 Roberto Clemente 21s in that stadium. And it's kind of like, dude, we might have to take one out eventually and put something else there. But it's like there's still more Clemente shit everywhere, dude. We're the Pirates. We won't shut the fuck up about Roberto Clemente. The whole thing, stadium, and everything around there is named after him.
Bob Nutting's thinking that advertisement's going to pay for one of the players, and now he's got to take it down. And he's just lost all that profit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that seltzer though never got more airtime.
I know, but it's the worst advertisement ever for Surfside. Like, damn, you're the seltzer that took away fucking Roberto Clemente off the wall. This guy died in a plane crash giving humanitarian aid to Puerto Rico. He died giving charity, and the fucking seltzer is taking him off the wall because they want to sell more seltzers. Maybe I'm not going to drink Surfside now. Bad look for Surfside. Bad look for the Pirates. You know what it's like? It's like putting up a Ukrainian flag in your yard. That's what it's, because it's like, dude, nothing against Ukraine. Nothing against Ukraine. Like, I'm all for it. And I'm all for people liking Ukraine, especially if you're from there. But it's like, once you put the flag up in your yard, like, you can't leave it there forever. Like, logically, it can't be there forever. So, one day you're going to have to take it out. But when you take it out, it's a bad look. Now people are like, what? You don't like, you like Putin now? You like Russia? What? You're taking the Ukrainian flag out? You got to do it in the dark. You don't want anyone to see. It's kind of tough. You put up 21s all over the stadium thinking you're doing a good thing for Roberto Clemente. Eventually, yeah, you're going to have to rearrange some things, take some down. It's going to be a bad look. It was just bad look for the Pirates altogether. God, the Pirates fucking suck, dude.
We're going to say that now, and then they're going to just go on this incredible run in May, and they're going to be like...
What do you mean incredible run? Like, what do you think of the incredible run for the Pirates?
They're just going to win, like, at a 600 rate.
I mean, this is the thing. It's like, and this is what happened with the Reds a few years ago. And I know this is not something that happened yet, but like the Reds 2 years ago, they had like a good half of a season. And then they were built up to be this like amazing, young, talented team. And they had a bunch of rookies. They had, Ellie De La Cruz was the obvious one. They brought him up and he was an electric thing. But who were the other rookies that year? Matt McClain.
Spencer
Steer. There had been more. But they had a bunch of guys. If we could list them off, we could probably go down by each one and say, well, he's not as good as he was for that half a season when the Reds were hot.
They had 3 players. We just mentioned them. 3 players finished top 10 or top 7 in Rookie of the Year voting. McClain, De La Cruz, and Steer. They all were top 7 in Rookie of the Year voting. So they had Hunter Green was 23 at the time. Was that his first year? That was his second season. So they had a young squad in 2023.
Mm-hmm. And other than Nelly De La Cruz, they've all regressed. And since then, the Reds have been bad. So it's like, even if the Pirates just turned around and were fucking had a hot season and for 2 months were the hottest team in baseball, O'Neill goes off, Paul Skenes goes off, and they're competing in the division, which is the NL Central, which is probably not going to be a good division. It's like, how sustainable is that? They're the Pirates. They got Paul Skenes. That's it. And they don't even have Roberto Clemente anymore, apparently. He's gone. They just have Seltzer, and they got Paul Skenes. But
and every now and then, O'Neill Cruz will hit a ball 123 miles an hour on the ground.
Yeah.
We'll all lose our minds.
Yeah, how's his stats this year?
Real quick, I just want to say shout out Surfside. If they're looking for something to sponsor, hit us up, dude.
Fuck, dude, we'll sponsor Surfside. We'll sell some seltzers.
So O'Neill Cruz, according to Baseball Reference, has a 151 OPS plus and 0 WAR because his defense in center field is terrible.
Damn. He's batting, so he has a 151 OPS plus but 0 WAR. That's how bad he is at defense. But he's getting
7 steals too. So he's like,
wow,
hitting well, running well, and then a ball gets hit to him in center field, and he just.
Well, he's actually supposed to be a shortstop, Mitchell. Why they got him in center?
Because he couldn't cut it at short.
Well, he had a 1.7 defensive WAR last. He had a positive defensive WAR last year playing shortstop. I guess we had a positive WAR. Did he play shortstop last year or outfield?
He played short and center. You'll get the positional adjustment, though. You could be a bad defensive shortstop, and you get that positional adjustment, and you still get that positive WAR.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's just say, O'Neill Cruz, he had a good season last year, but I think people just don't really care as much because it's the Pirates. starting off hot this year, but maybe it's not going to be enough because he's the Pirates. But you do have Paul Skenes. And actually, I do want to talk about Paul Skenes because I did do my research and watch the Livy Dunn shit with GQ. I'm here to announce officially that there is a new Sigma in MLB, guys. Paul Skenes is the Sigma of MLB. It does not get any bigger than this. They did the Paul Skenes and Livy Dunn GQ interview dropped, and holy shit, this guy fucking doesn't miss. All right. Did you see this, Mitchell?
I didn't.
Jack, you don't know
first time.
fucking sports or baseball. Did you see the Livy Dunn, Paul Skenes GQ thing? It's spreading around.
I've seen Livy does Instagram. That's about it.
Okay, well, they just did an interview with GQ. It was like a couples game where they quiz each other on who knows more about the other person, right? And Skenes could not give less of a fuck, dude. Does not want to be there. I wouldn't say he doesn't want to be there, but he's just Sigma. He's just Sigma. He couldn't care less. All right, they put this guy, they put him in a leather jacket, they put him in rings, got him all GQ'd up, and he looks good. He looks fucking good. And dude, he delivered on this shit. At one point, Livy asked Paul what her most popular Instagram post is. He's like, don't fucking know, don't care. Do not care. She asked him, she asked him what's my favorite dream collaboration on Instagram. He said me. You want to collab with me, babe. That's all you want.
Was it all like social media based?
No, dude, they're asking them like personal questions. Like, it's like she would ask him questions. Like, she would ask a question like, what's my favorite ice cream? And if he knows it, he gets a point. But if he doesn't know it, it's like, oh, damn, it's a bad couple because like you guys don't even know each other that well. So she was asking him questions like, oh, like what's like my favorite nickname to call you? Like, what's my She has like, what's my proudest moment? And Paul Skenes was asking questions like, what was my ERA last year? He literally, what's my ERA last year? And she fucking got it first try. She knew exactly what his ERA was because he's the fucking Sigma alpha male, dude. They're calling him Paul. Paul never simps Skenes because he doesn't simp, dude. He's just Sigma. He doesn't simp, dude. When they first met, he wouldn't even give her a hug. I got some inside knowledge from my girlfriend. She said that Paul Skenes didn't even follow Livy Dunn back on Instagram after they met. Didn't even give a fuck. So all you losers out there simping, dude, nah, Skenes, he's just that fucking Sigma alpha that doesn't care. He's like supermodel girlfriend, don't give a fuck. Like, give me the baseball. I'm gonna fucking throw 100 miles per hour. She asked him what his biggest baseball hero goes. Okay, sorry. She asked him who his She asked him who is your biggest baseball hero? He's like, don't have one. No, he asked her. That's the thing. He asked her, who's my biggest baseball hero? She's like, Mike Trout. He's like, don't fucking have one. Why would I? I'm the best pitcher in the world. I'm 22 years old. I'm better than everyone. I don't have a baseball hero. I don't have a favorite player. I don't admire any of these guys. What?
I'm surprised he didn't say me.
Me?
I mean, it's
yeah.
pattern there every time. What's this? Me. What's this? Me. Who's my baseball hero? Me. I'm surprised that isn't how it went.
Dude, she asked him what her favorite, proudest moment was. She asked Paul Skenes, what do you think my proudest moment was in my life? He responded by saying, I don't know, my debut. My pitching debut. My pitching debut was probably so sick, Livy Dunn. That was probably the best moment of your life. I know you have 15 million Instagram followers. You're a national championship at LSU, but my fucking pitching performance was probably better than anything you ever fucking did. Because he's Sigma, bro. He put on a fucking clinic out there. He's the top alpha dog in the fucking MLB. I like them as a couple, dude. I really do.
I think they're going to last.
If they don't get married, I'm going to kill myself. If Paul Skenes, if Paul Skenes and Livy Dunn, if you don't get married, I'm going to jump off a bridge. Because you guys are a good couple. At one point, she asked him what her first job was. He's like, dude, what? Real job? You don't have a job. No, what he actually said, she asked him, what was my first real job? He goes, what was my first real job? what do you think my first real? What was my real? And he goes, Air Force. That was his first real job. Guy's a fucking beast. You can't touch Paul Skenes. He's the best player in the world. Ketel Marte is injured. He just signed. What was his contract that he just signed?
He signed. You removed it.
I didn't remove anything. It's all there.
I think it was like a $116 million contract over 6 years, and then 2 days later, he's running, strains his hamstring.
That's tough for the D-backs. It's also tough for them because their boy, Corbin Burns, who we were talking about, I think he had a very tough first start. Am I correct or am I right?
I saw him today. I think this was his second start, and he was really bad. He had like 65 pitches through 3 innings. He had 10 full counts or something ridiculous like that. He basically looked like a prospect who had just been called up and was super nervous. Could not find the strike zone.
Really? So Corbin Burns looked like that's a fucking scathing review.
He just could not find the strike zone. Couldn't put away batters. This is not a guy. If I had never seen Corbin Burns pitch before, and this was the first game I go to, I don't know anything about him, I would think that he sucked.
Oh, because you were at the game?
Yeah, I was at the game.
They lost to the old Nationals. Yeah. Well, that's a little concerning. I mean, I know I've been very high in the D-bags, but if you're going to fall to the Nationals and you're a big free agent signing is struggling, and then the other guy who just locked up big long-term is going out with a hamstring injury, and you're in the toughest division in the world, it looks right now in the NL West with the Dodgers, who aren't even in first right now, the Giants, the Padres, and the Diamondbacks. I mean, that is a fucking stacked division. Holy moly. All right. Well, do you got any other topics you want to cover before we get out of here?
Jack watched a baseball game.
What'd you watch, Jack?
What the fuck do you think?
The Marlins?
Braves Marlins.
Which one?
The most recent.
What happened? I didn't watch it.
They
Tell me.
won 4-0.
I know, it was depressing.
Cursed us.
Well, Schwellenbach looked good in game 1. That was good. I mean, that guy, I would say, he's got to be like the top pitcher in MLB right now, right?
Skenes, basically the same pitcher.
Right?
And Schwellenbach was a college shortstop. He threw like 30 innings in college. Braves drafted him. They let him pitch like 60, 70 innings in the minors, and now he's basically been on the Skenes track, but no one talks about him.
Yeah. And he had 10 strikeouts?
10 Ks.
What did he have?
23 whiffs.
What did he have in his first game?
He only had like 4 in his first game.
Okay.
So he has 14.
But he hasn't given up a run yet.
No earned runs in 14 innings.
That's a positive. And hey, I saw Spencer Strider in the dugout last night. When's he pitching?
He pitches Thursday. That should be his last rehab.
What?
Game. His last rehab game is Thursday.
Why the fuck was he in the dugout getting my hopes up in a Braves fucking uniform? Braves sweatshirt at least.
You expect him to just chill in Gwinnett the whole time?
I mean, dog.
I mean,
we
the
need
fucking coaches are in full uniform. It means nothing.
Shut the fuck up, Jack. You don't know what you're talking about, first of all.
I mean, I feel like there is a chance the Braves are like, man, things are going so badly. We'll just let him rehab in the majors.
Dude, I was watching that game against the Marlins, which just hurt because like you lose 7 in a row and it sucks, obviously, but it's early. And then you just come back to Atlanta, first game, you're playing the Marlins, and Braves forever. Like the Braves the past 8 years, I would say, since they got Acuna, since they started winning. Anytime they go in a struggle, they struggle. This always happens. Like the Braves have never really struggled other than parts of last year. But when they would go on big winning streaks, but whenever they had a losing streak, they would just play the Marlins, sweep them, and then be back. Like our record against the Marlins is batshit crazy. We're like 50-9 against them in the past 4 seasons. So coming back after going 0-7 against the Marlins at home, everyone's going crazy. Trey Turner treatment, everyone's getting a standing O, and then you put up 10 runs on them. It felt like, damn, the offense is looking good. We're back. And then to turn around and just lose 4-0. I know it's early, guys, but that just hurt. And then when I saw Spencer Strider in the dugout, I said, wow, there's a glimmer of hope. And now you're telling me that he's pitching on Thursday, but it's in fucking Gwinnett? Who gives a fuck? We want Strider pitching now. Schwellenbach, Tip my cap to Schwellenbach, but everyone else in that team, you're on notice. Step it up, please. Even Drake Baldwin, I know you get so unlucky, dude, but please. Okay.
Got some questions.
Yeah. Who's the player that you guys hate the most? I mean, I've talked about it already on this podcast, but Miguel Rojas, for some reason, I can't stand that guy. Just his whole thing. But I feel bad because he probably is a nice guy. If I ever met him, he'd probably be really nice to him, and I'd like him. But, like, just on TV, Miguel Rojas, like the way that he's kind of like shown as the captain of the Dodgers when he's probably the worst player in the team, bothers me. He just reminds me of, like, you know that kid in Little League, the brown noser. He's he's a kiss ass. The coach loves him. This guy's gonna be a manager when he retires. We need him for leadership. He's teaching Mookie Betts the ways of shortstop. It's like, come on, bro. Fuck, that was bullshit. We did the Jazz Chisholm too. But mine is Miguel Rojas. What about yours?
It's a Philly hater. I'm just a Philly hater, but I can't stand Nick Castellanos and Alec Boehm. If they were on any other team, I'd have no to positive opinions on them. But man, they're on the Phillies and I hate them.
Yeah.
Jack, what about you? Who's your least favorite player?
Castillo.
Luis Castillo. There's plenty of those, brother. I also, Nicholas Castellanos can't bother me sometimes. But also I like him too. Like, he does funny shit. Like when he wrecked the Cardinals pitcher at home plate and just flexed in his face, like that was dope. Right? When he did that interview with that guy in the stands and told him to say like fuck Rob Manfred or whatever, and so he didn't have to say it, that was dope. Celebrating with his sons. You don't like that? What's next, Mitchell? What's your true opinion on Nicholas Castellanos' son? You don't like him?
I mean, he's just a Nick Castellanos clone.
He really is. He really is. Joe, I know you're an aspiring comic, bro. Talk about it on the next pod. I feel like aspiring is a little disrespectful, dude. Yeah. I mean, you guys don't know that. I did stand up before I did YouTube, I believe. What year was that, Jack? 2017? When I was like 18? I'm asking Jack like I don't like he would know. But yeah.
Started before me.
I started before Jack. That's how I know Jack. We did stand up together over here in Washington, D.C.
Still do.
Yes, sir. Still do. So if you want to check us out, I guess you could say we're definitely aspiring. Maybe one day we'll go on tour with the pod. You guys want to come see us do some jokes up there? You can. Come to Washington. Come to Hotbed. That's the place to be. Right across the street where we're at right now. If you guys want to come to Hotbed, I might be there. Check the website on Fridays and Saturdays. I could be on there. If you're watching DC, you can see us live. Maybe we'll get Mitchell to do 5 minutes. You want to try it, Mitch?
Be painful.
I'm sure Hotbed would love to have you.
Yeah, they'd have him up there. You get paid big bucks to go up to Hotbed. Okay, here's one. Been watching BDE with my parents for years. Absolutely love your stuff, man. Wondering where you think about our Braves record will be at the end of the year. 500. That's where I'm at right now. And I'm subject to change, but right now I'm like a 500 team. I'm like done with the Braves. I think we suck. But it's early. But honestly, where I feel right now, and that could change in two. If the Braves win if the Braves win 2 out of 3 against the Phillies, I will be back on the Braves. But right now, I think we finished 500. I don't like where we're at all. And I'm really positive about this shit usually. And I don't like that we're playing the Phillies. I feel like we're about to get swept by the Phillies. But actually, that's going to be a really great series. I know Chris Sale is facing Wheeler to start off on Tuesday. Like, I mean, as a baseball fan this early in the year, I mean, as a Braves fan, I'm dreading watching the Braves versus the Phillies because I just feel like we're going to get smoked the way it's been going. But I mean, I feel like there hasn't been this much pressure on a team this early in the season in a while. And to face a division rival like the Phillies, luckily it's at home. Like, we have a lot to lose and the Phillies have a lot to gain because, like, I'm not really one to look at the playoff odds this early in the season, but I would say, like, if the Braves get swept by the Phillies, their odds to win the division will probably be like 10%.
I mean, if they get swept by the Phillies, they're 1-11. Like, who comes back from that?
I mean, you can come back from 1-11. We could still make the playoffs going 1-11, Mitch. Don't say that. But to win the division, like the Braves playoff odds, the Braves odds to make the playoffs have gone from 93% to open to year to 69%. 93 to 69. So that's 23% drop in 2 weeks.
The Giants have stolen all of our playoff odds.
Yeah, but if you look at that, hey, we still have a 70% chance to make the playoffs. Like, I watch these games literally thinking, like, we're going to have a terrible season this year. And I don't know.
I watched this and I'm like, is this team worse than the 2016 team? That
I know.
I tortured myself to watch for some reason.
That's the vibes, but I don't know if it's just because we started the season like this and we haven't seen any positive signs. And also, just like last season was so bad, but it was injuries that we blamed it for. But we just haven't seen a spark with our Braves in a while. But let's see our odds to win the division right now. So going into the season, we had the best odds to win the NL East at 64%. 8 games into the season, we're at 28%, dude. So we lost 44% in the first 2 weeks of the season. So if you get swept by the Phillies, or even if you lose 2 out of 3, your division odds are going to be down to like 14, 20.
Listen, I'm no savant, and I'm willing to admit that, but have you guys considered getting a thick-ass rabbit?
Oh, my God. That's a good point. If we get a 40-pound rabbit.
I mean, are you doing all you can?
We got to get something. I think we could bring back the Chick-fil-A cow. That was sick. That's what remember in Turner Field they had the Chick-fil-A cow? Just eat more chicken.
Did it not make the move to Truist?
I don't know, but if we just got a big-ass cow and just started walking it around the field, like, we do need some type of mascot, something, dude. There's just no energy in the Braves organization.
We need Guillermo Heredia back.
We need fucking Freddie Freeman back. That's what we need, right? But, like, we talk too much about the Braves. We should never traded that fucking guy. Matt Olson, you're on notice, too. If you still... Where did I get my Braves hat? I have no idea. I keep getting this question about this Braves hat. If you can see on camera. I think I got it from an Instagram ad, and I cannot find where this hat came from. It's a pretty sick hat, but if anyone could find out where I got this hat from, tell me, drop it in the comments, because I don't know, and I'm getting a ton of comments on the Braves hat. I've been looking for it, but I cannot find it. I reverse image searched it, went through my email, searched hat, nothing. So I don't know. Anyone else? Any final thoughts?
Shout out Ovechkin.
Ovechkin. Oh, shit. I was going to open with that because I'm wearing the jersey, but Ovi just broke the record. We're not going to fucking suck this year. Go Ovechkin. Go Caps. That was an amazing goal. We love Ovechkin. Thank you, Ovechkin. That's episode 4 of Baseball Doesn't Exist. Podcast Doesn't Exist. That was episode 5 of Podcast Doesn't Exist. See you later. Oh, that was episode 4. Was it 4 or 5?
That's 4.
Okay. Well, we're going to stop counting eventually. That was episode of Podcast Doesn't Exist. See you next time.
This is podcast episode 3000.